A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So, in my late 40s, that's where I am. I'm in single digit body fat. I train heavy. I've recovered from a surgery and I had a shoulder, almost took me out. Like I literally couldn't do this. I couldn't open my car door this way. It was bad. So all of that going on, and I'm still probably stronger than I've ever been. People watch all the things that I do and they reach for the easy explanation. They say steroids, genetics, money, or maybe he just knows something that we don't know. Maybe he's just special, right? No, the real answer is boring, right? But the real answer is the truth, is discipline. Straight away is discipline. Discipline first. But there's an additional thing. There's a lot of additional things that help, but one major one is tools. Tools, having the right tools and implementing the right tools, being intelligent enough to seek counsel from people who know better, try things, test things, whatever, but tools, deploying the tools properly. Now, tonight, I'm going to give y'all some of these tools, okay? And the tools we talking about tonight, y'all already know what it is peptides. It took me a couple years to do a video about this because I really wanted to have a deep understanding of what peptides are, how they work, do they work, why they work, before I start talking about it to the public. That's just the responsible thing for me to do. So we're going to start at the fundamental basic of what a peptide is. We start at the bottom. All right. Your body, the human body, is built out of protein, right? So your muscle, your skin, your tendons, the enzymes that run everything, every reaction happening inside of you right now. So protein. Protein is it's like amino acids that are linked together in a chain, right? A long chain folds up and becomes either a worker or a brick. That's a protein. A short chain stays small and tight. And instead of that short protein becoming a brick, it becomes a message, right? And that short chain is a peptide. That is what a peptide is, okay? So hold on to that one idea. A peptide is a message. Write notes, y'all. I want y'all to really understand what a peptide is. I want y'all to have a very fundamental understanding of what a peptide is. Now, a peptide is a message. Your body writes thousands of these messages every second. Heal the body, burn this, calm that down, wake up over here. That's how the system talks to itself. So when I take a peptide, I'm not forcing some foreign chemical into my body. I'm handing my body a specific message that it already knows how to read, all right? We produce proteins nonstop in our bodies. Now, the body knows how to read these. I'm telling it precisely what to do, where, and when, right? So that's the entire concept around a peptide. Everything else I say tonight is just which message and why, right? Which peptide and why, okay? Now, my introduction to peptides happened in 2020. I tore my bicep. I was preparing for a fight, a professional boxing match, and I was sparring, feeling good. Now, I already had some pain in my elbow for a long time. It hurt to throw a jab, right? So in training, in sparring, this is a week out before the fight, it popped. I just tore, it's called a distal tendon tear. Tore my bicep. Man, that was like potentially psychologically devastating to me because I don't want to be taken out of a space to where I can't train. And look, I already can't fight now. That was like crazy. So I tore the bicep tendon, right? The tendon, this tendon, it anchors your bicep to your forearm and the bone near the elbow, all of that stuff. So they cut me open, they reattached it. Anybody that had that surgery know, or any kind of surgery for that matter, you know that there's a lengthy timeline on when they say you're going to recover, okay? Months it was a sling, but it was also this mechanical thing that you can kind of like maneuver like that. So months before you can train, put load on it, so on and so forth. The body's whole repair process is slow. And doctors, they plan it around such, like really slow. So I was training 2 weeks later. Actually, I was training the next day after my surgery. Now, I wasn't using this arm, right? Doing everything else. But in 2 weeks, I was using that arm. 2 weeks. I'm not trying to flex. I'm not bragging, right? I'm saying it because the thing that made it possible was the first peptide that I ever took, and that was called BPC 157. I never heard of it before that. A good friend, Joey Firestone, he told me about it. Another brother, manager Matt, told me about it. These guys are veterans in the game. They know a lot of different protocols and peptides and supplements and everything inside out. So they schooled me on it. I took it to my surgeon. I said, look, what do you know about this? He didn't know about anything about peptides. This is crazy. This is 6 years ago. He didn't know much about peptides. So he said, let me do some research. So he came back the next day and he said, well, there's not much human studies. There's studies on mice that look promising, but those are mice, right? He said, but the tissue is the same. Tissue is tissue. He said, take it. It won't hurt you. The worst thing is it just won't do anything. So that's really so it doesn't hurt to take it. So just try it. So I took it and it worked. It literally worked. So let's talk about now. One can say like, oh, what if you just, since you're in good shape, you're healthy, you've recovered fast. That could be it too, and part of it. I'm sure that had something to do with it, but that's not the only time I took it. So just hold that thought, right? Let's get into what BPC actually means. BPC stands for body protection compound, right? It's a short peptide that researchers, they first pull out of studying human stomach fluid, because your gut is one of the fastest healing tissues you own. And they wanted to understand why, right? So here's what it does. Stripped away all the way down. It tells your body to build new blood vessels into damaged tissue. So the blood is the thing that heals. You know that when the body is miraculous. We got to thank God for this intelligent piece of technology called the human body. When your body is damaged and you have tissue damage, blood heals the tissue, right? Blood carries oxygen, which is the nutrient. It carries oxygen. It carries all the nutrients that you need, and it repairs the cell to that wound, right? The reason tendons and ligaments heal so slow is because they barely get any of that blood, right? So BPC 157, it sends the signal to run fresh plumbing, if you will, straight to the injury. So that message, remember, the peptide is a message. It's a short chain. It's a message. And that particular message, the BPC, says, go, heal, 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 right? And this is what's crazy about it. You're doing it for your elbow or whatever, right? Your bicep. Let's say something's going on in your leg or your knee or whatever. It's indiscriminate. It will go and find whatever is not optimal, whatever is damaged, and heal that as well, okay? So on top of all of that, it helps with inflammation and settles your gut. So it's incredible. It does so many things. It does things for you cognitively as well. So remember I said that was the first time I took it. I'm back on it, right? And it was out of a necessity. Let's bring it back to a couple months ago. This shoulder, it was bad. It was hurting so bad I couldn't press. I couldn't do a bench press, a shoulder press. If I fall asleep and land on that side, oh man, it was bad. I couldn't lift my arm over my head. It felt like I needed surgery. Like, damn, I'm really going to be out the game right now, right? I get shoulder surgery. So I was a little bit bummed out, but I really didn't want to stop training. So what did I do? It was a moment of reckoning. And this is a real moment for men, especially somebody that's my age, right? Because this is the kind of injury that when you have this kind of injury, guys my age, that's when it's a wrap. You start to strain, right? Like, because I don't like getting surgery. I'm not trying to go to the doctor if I don't have to. So, and I know it's a lot of y'all like me. So, you back down off you let the pain kind of subside a little bit and you go down in your weight. You go lighter, you get softer, and age starts happening faster, right? And I ain't with none of that energy. I age when Allah sees fit for me or when I'm ready, right? I'm not going to just accept what comes with these, your chronological age. So I didn't back off. Now there's more research, I know of more peptides at this point. So my people was telling me about the BPC mixed with the TB500 together is called the Wolverine stack. Run it. Let's do it. So I was good to go, like fast. Like let me explain what the TB500 is though. It's a man-made piece of protein that your body already produces. So your body produces it, but it's made in a laboratory. And let's talk about that because people have this negative notion of anything man-made. It's not natural. It is natural. Is man not natural? Is human beings not natural? Is intellect not natural? Right? And then we want to talk about tools. What's it being made out of? Everything is natural. This microphone is natural, right? Y'all phones is natural. What do you mean, Mike Rashid? Every element that constructs your phone can be found in soil, can be found in nature. That's where everything comes from. So everything is natural. So this natural, unnatural, man-made. Let's stop with that. because there's no nuance to those conversations. People just saying blanketed things because you've heard it over and over, right? Man-made things are really good sometimes because you are able to find something that's really good, really beneficial, right? Synthesize it, create it with natural elements, and you can dose it. You know how much you're giving. You know the effects is going to be the same over and over and over. So man-made sometimes is better than finding things in nature, because when you find things in nature, sometimes the doses is all over the place, right? So anyway, I digress, but don't feel no way about things being man-made. So anyway, this protein that they figured out how to make that already grows in the body is called thymosin beta 4. And everything about this protein is for movement, right? It tells your repair cells to get up, migrate, go to the site that's damaged, fix it, help lay down some new blood supply immediately alongside with the BPC, right? So it's enhancing, the BPC enhances the TB500, the TB500 enhances the BPC. So you're the Wolverine. Y'all know how the Wolverine just regenerate, right? Immediately. That's what this does. So it's pretty much the same thing as the BPC 150, BPC 157, right? Just a different angle. Now, when you put them two together, that's the Wolverine stack. The shoulder, back good, back good. Y'all see me, I'm still benching heavy, all of that, right? So that's what I'm taking right now. But I'm taking a lot more now, all right? So that part is the repair part. Now, there's something for everything as far as peptides. Everything that you can imagine that can go wrong in the body or whatever, or you need to enhance whatever, there's a peptide for it. That's why there's so much going on in Congress, regulate, deregulate, this, that, and the third, because it's so powerful and it really works, right? So let's get the Wolverine. I explained the Wolverine stack. Let's move that to the side. Now, that's one half of the equation, being able to repair the hardware, right? The other half is the machine itself, right? So the engine that lets a man in his late 40s hold single-digit body fat, right? And still strong, still outlifting cats half my age, right? That's important. That's very important for me. Listen, I am still striving, y'all. Inshallah, I have many more good years. So let's get into the rest of my protocol, because these things are helping me. Glutathione. If you haven't, I'm sure many of y'all have heard about glutathione. You know what it is. And if you haven't, it's one of the best things you can put in your body, right? It's the body's master antioxidant. It's a small peptide, 3 amino acids, and it's the main thing standing between your cells and rust. Now, think about this. When you train, you burn fuel, right? And burning fuel throws off damage the same way the engine throws off exhaust in a car. The technical name of that damage is oxidative stress. You've heard about this before, right? Not just training, a lot of things cause oxidative stress. Some things cause a lot more, like alcohol, like smoking, like stress, right? There's a lot of things that cause oxidative stress. When your cells are oxidated, they're corrupted, they're damaged, they're broken. That's when disease and dysfunction starts creeping in. That's how you get old. That's how people die, is oxidation. Think about leaving a piece of fruit out for too long. It oxidates and it gets rotten. Same thing with the body, okay? But the difference is the body, we have active oxidating agents, things that we do to ourselves and stuff, not sleeping, like all kind of things, right? So glutathione is the master antioxidant, okay? So glutathione is the cleanup food that handles everything, right? It mops up the damage, it protects your cells, and it helps your liver clear out everything that you run through your body. But here's the catch. As you age, your glutathione drops. Just like everything else that's good in the body, as we age, these things start decreasing, okay? Right? And a lot of us are training and, our lives demand more antioxidant agents, and we're getting less of it. Now, I keep mine topped off every day. You know what I'm saying? Cleaner engine, cleaner blood, faster recovery between these sessions, like, glutathione for the dub, right? For the W. So listen, this is something that everybody needs, not just gym rats like myself. Everybody needs glutathione. All right, so another one that I'm currently taking is LL-37. Now, the fact that these are not super mainstream yet, they still have the technical, medical, scientific terms, okay? So it's not sexy terms. I think they're kind of cool. LL-37, right? That is the only antimicrobial peptide of its kind that the human body manufactures on its own. Think of it like your built-in security team. Then it punches holes directly in bacteria, viruses, fungi. It breaks up what is called biofilms. These are little fortresses that the nastiest bacteria build around to hide antibiotics, and is very intelligent. It calls your immune system cells in to fight when there's a real threat, right? So it knows how to extract or generate or get your immune system cranking. And then it knows how to calm it back down when sometimes your immune system can do too much. There's a lot of dysfunction with that. So it calms it down when it's necessary to start to mitigate any damage that your immune system can do for you. So your body produces more of it when your vitamin D is high, which is why we should all be outside getting some sunshine and all of that. But for a man who travels, who grinds, who can't afford to be sick, LL-37 is just perfect. All right. Now, this one is a giant. This is MOTS-C. 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 This one is tied to why I can stay lean, lock in. You know what I'm saying? So MOTS-C is interesting. It's a weird compound, but in the best way possible. The best kind of weird. Almost every instruction in your body comes from the main blueprint in the center cell. MOTS-C doesn't. MOTS-C is written inside your mitochondria, the little power plants that produce your energy. It's a message sent from the engine room itself. What it does is it flips on a master metabolic switch called AMPK. AMPK means activated protein kinase. When that switch is on, your muscles pull sugar out of your blood and burns it for fuel instead of storing it for fat. Y'all hear me? This is amazing. All right. Now, it makes your body more sensitive to insulin. And we all know when insulin sensitivity is the exact thing that falls apart as we age and as we eat bad foods. You know, one of the biggest killers in America is type 2 diabetes. That is from insulin sensitivity. Okay. So we're fighting against that. The breakdown is the real reason why people's bellies show up in their 30s and 40s, right? Scientists call MOTS-C an exercise mimetic because it tells your body to do some of what the hard training session does. This is crazy. Your natural levels of MOTS-C declines as you get older. Now, that decline lines up almost perfectly with the age where men start getting soft. Now, I'm fighting that decline at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ducking this particular fight. I'm putting y'all up on game. You know these things are happening, right? You don't even need me to tell you that these things happen, right? So fight it, deal with it, or don't, and get old fast, right? I'm 49 and I got single-digit body fat in my 40s and I don't starve myself, okay? So that's MOTS-C. Now, another very important one that I take is NAD+. NAD+. Y'all heard about, I know y'all heard about this. All right, let me be straight up with y'all about NAD+ though, because it's in the peptide category and it's not a peptide. It's a coenzyme. However, it's earned its place in the conversation because it's the foundation that everything else stands on. NAD+ is the currency that your cells use to make energy. Every power plant in every cell runs on NAD+. It also fuels two things that matter more than anything as you start to age. It fuels the enzymes that repair your DNA, right? You heard of telomeres. This is really important. Telomeres are it's like the end of your DNA, right? It's like a shoestring, you know, the plastic tip on a shoestring. As those start to decrease and shrink, that's how we get susceptible to diseases, neurological diseases, psychological, like mental diseases, things like Alzheimer's and all of that kind of stuff, but also cancers and just every kind of disorder that can happen to a person happens when your telomeres start to go away. The NAD helps repair those and lengthen those, okay? It's you could look at it any kind of way. It's going to point you to like reverse aging on a cellular level. It's incredible. I've been on NAD for years, okay? So it also fuels an enzyme called sirtuins. which are directly tied to how fast or how slow that we age. Here's the brutal part. Here's the reality. Once again, y'all already know this. Just like everything else is good in our body, the NAD falls off a cliff as the years go. It just starts dropping. Less energy, slower repair, faster aging, and people just accept it as getting old. But I don't accept that. I refill my tank. All right. Now, let's put all this together, because a supplement list is just a supplement list. A random supplement list is not a strategy. Okay. I think about this the same way I think about everything, but this is very important, everything we put in our body. So I apply system thinking to even this. The body is one connected system. Nearly everything that goes wrong with a man as he ages, or a woman, I'm not leaving women out. Anything that goes wrong with human beings as we age is backed by two failures. One, the signal is weak, and then two, the machine wears out. The peptides handle these signals. BPC 157, TB 500, signal repair. LL-37 signals defense. MOTC signals your metabolism to stay young, burn clean. And then you have glutathione and NAD that handles the machine itself. One keeps it from rusting, the other keeps it powered and repairing its own blueprint. Weak signals and a worn machine, now that is what aging looks like from the inside out. Sharp signals, a clean machine, that's what staying in the fight looks like. That's the whole game. All right. Now, I got to be 100% with y'all. None of these replace real work. Okay. I don't want y'all having the wrong idea like you could just take peptides and that's it. And there's many more. There are peptides for weight loss. You heard about the Ozempic trend, right? But there's way better ones than that. Okay. None of this stuff can replace being disciplined, having your nutrition dialed in, and putting in work. Okay. A peptide on top of your discipline will amplify and multiply your discipline. A peptide in place of your discipline ain't doing nothing. You're wasting your time, you're wasting money, right? Look, I put intention in with my training, with my eating, my sleep, getting sunlight, praying. I control my appetite. I don't let it control me, right? That's the foundation. The peptides are, just look at it like the peptides are what I build on top of the foundation that already exists, so it magnifies it, right? If you have no foundation, you're not amplifying or magnifying anything, okay? Now, I gotta be extra clear with y'all on this. There are risks involved, okay? I'll lay them out on the table so you know what you're getting into if you want to get into this, right? Make your own decision. Most of what I shared is not FDA approved. And for several of them, the strongest studies or research and evidence is found in animal studies. There are some human trials, but they're not large ones, it's smaller ones. Unfortunately, there's a lot of garbage out in the market, in the gray market, that is. There's people that sell you stuff with the wrong dose, the wrong content, or things that are contaminated, because there ain't nobody really checking. Nobody's accountable. And the right protocol for my body is not automatically the right protocol for you. Remember that, right? Now, I'm not trying to scare y'all, okay? I just want to arm you with wisdom, with education, so, you know, you could do it correctly. I want you to do, if you do this, I want you to do it correctly. That's what a professional, best case scenario with your blood work, you know, and with that, they build a plan around your body, your goals, your numbers, not some screenshot that you found online, and not what the dude at the gym is trying to like just tell you what you should be taking because he's trying to make some money on you. All right. That's not what we want to do. Now, we got to be smart about these things. Be smart about what you're putting into your body. Okay. Now, I personally work with licensed professionals who handle peptides correctly, real sourcing, real testing, real supervision. Listen, I have my reputation, right? And I protect that and I guard that with everything. From my genesis in the fitness industry as a businessman, I had to do everything above reproach. And you see, I've been in the game almost 20 years and we're clean. Name is clean, right? The best products on the market. Now, when it comes to peptides, it's the same thing, right? Now, I didn't start my own peptide line. I did think about it, but it's a lot of work and I'm very busy with so many things. And I have been approached by many people that wanted to do deals with me. And I do my vetting process and I'm always like, nah, I'm good. You cutting corners. I can't, oh no, we'll do this. Like, nah, the fact that you were going to do it, I'm not rocking with you. I'm sorry, sir. So I had a good friend of mine, a good brother named Brandon. I've been knowing him for a couple years. I respect the hell out of him. He's a really solid, ethical person and a really good businessman. He told me that he was going to do this. I said, okay, well, let me know when you really get it going. I'm interested. And then once he got it going, he reached out like he said he would, man of his word. You know, we sat down, we talked, we had a few meetings, and then bam, let's do it. So I'm rocking with people that I trust, all right? Now, you only got one body. You have to live in this body, and that's it. You don't get a replacement, okay? So you have to treat it like it's the most important asset that you own. So, because you can't replace it. That's why you want to do this right if you're going to do this. The peptide, the odyssey of peptides can be incredible, or it could be a nightmare, okay? If you're going to embark on this, I would like for you to do it the right way. I'm going to tell you why I'm extra excited about this. I'm a supplement guy, you know, Planta. You know, we got new flavors. Yo, this is crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all about this later, but new bag, all of that. I'm a supplement guy. And I know that what we create and produce and put out there is the best on the market. Some of y'all don't know that though, right? Unless you're taking it consistently and doing all the things. The problem is a lot of people are not consistent with things, this, that, and the third. So you don't know if the supplements is working or not. It takes a while. But with the peptides, you know immediately. That's why I'm excited about this, but that's why I've been so careful and cautious about who I worked with and when I came out and talked about any of these things. And I've been taking them for a couple years before I said anything, okay? I'm a believer. I'm a believer straight up. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to yield and we can do some Q&A. I want to hear from y'all, which I want to talk about. If the squad haven't answered your questions yet, and if there's anything that I can answer, I'm here for it, y'all. All right? So go ahead and shoot your questions. Okay, let me see what I see in the chat. I've been on the chat all this time. All right, let's see. The supplements are working. I know they work. See, you know they work, but a lot of people don't. But this stuff, you gonna know immediately. All right, let's see here. Okay, somebody asked for hair. GH. Yep. Okay, so y'all already got the wisdom. Let me pull up. So let me tell you about some of the things that's out there that I'm not on, but I'm going to get on at some point. All right, so there's different categories of peptides, right? So I'll read you some of them. Give me 1 second to pull up my site. I have a really dope site that's all education, okay? It's called Strength University. Look, I ain't even got a domain for it yet. I'm gonna share it with y'all anyway. So we have cellular repair. This is what exists in peptides: cellular repair, longevity, growth hormone, your endocrine system, immune support and regulation, inflammation recovery, metabolic and weight loss, nootropic, sexual health, skin and cosmetic. Let's start with skin and cosmetic. We'll go backwards. So skin, cosmetic, so skin health, collagen support, pigmentation, repair, cosmetic aging, barrier function, and aesthetic optimization. All right, so GHKCU, a copper binding tripeptide study for your skin remodeling, collagen and elastin support, wound repair, biology, and antioxidant signaling. Okay, so basically what that is in simple terms, your skin ages when collagen breaks down, elasticity decreases, inflammation increases. People be having a little hanging neck, little turkey situations all on their face, right? Lines in the forehead, lines here, that comes from aging. That comes from not having that collagen, right? Or damaged cells. So the skin's repair signals over time becomes less efficient. So GHKCU is research because it helps signal the skin to repair, rebuild, and remodel. All right. I'm going to be brief on these because, it's quite a few. Okay. Now, you have the GHK serum and GHK and SNAP, right? These are three. Okay. There's strong evidence for this. And basically what this does is it's a topical cosmetic peptide formula study for skin repair, firmness, texture, elasticity, and expression line support. All right. So in simple terms, this combines two different cosmetic peptide lanes. So the GHK supports skin repair and rebuilding. The SNAP-8 supports expression and line softening. Makes you young. So they've studied the GHK, like I said already, skin support, elastin, hydration-related matrix compounds, wound repair biology, antioxidant defense, and healthier-looking skin over time. SNAP-8 is studied as a topical neurotransmitter inhibiting peptide that helping soften your look of like the dynamic line expressions by targeting the signaling involved in repeated facial muscle contraction. Is brilliant, right? So, it basically supports the appearance of smoother expression lines and the skin's repair signals. So, all right. And then you have glow. If you don't know, now you know. All right. So glow is GHKCU, BPC-157, and TB-500. All right. So it's going to give you skin remodeling, tissue repair signaling, and recovery environment biology. This is very strong, okay? This stuff is really powerful, y'all. And a lot of these, you haven't heard about these matrices and these combinations, but the research, it shows like how each one, when you are synthesizing and putting them together, they're making each other powerful. So when you put them three together, those three compounds, there's a broader repair environment involving collagen, elastin, inflammation regulation, blood vessel signaling, soft tissue remodeling, and skin quality support. Skin firmness, skin elasticity, skin texture, collagen, wound repair biology, soft tissue research, inflammation regulation, blood flow, and angiogenesis signaling, a barrier tissue support, cell migration, tissue remodeling, just healthier, younger looking skin. All right. So those are the three. And no, it's actually more. She's 6. Okay. Then you have KLOW. So that was glow. Now here's CLO or cloud. So that's GHKCU, BPC-157, TB-500, and KPV. All right. I told y'all what everything is except for the KPV. I'll say what the KPV is. It's inflammation regulation, gut and skin barrier support, antimicrobial activity, and tissue repair environments. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I'm taking KPV as well. I started taking that. So this is overall inflammation control, skin repair, collagen support, tissue remodeling, and recovering signaling. So it's going to increase your skin quality, increase the firmness and tightness of your skin, the elasticity, the collagen support, of course, fine lines and texture, inflammation regulation, gut barrier research, soft tissue recovery, wound healing biology, angiogenesis, cell migration, tissue remodeling, barrier tissue support, like holy grail. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? You have melanotan, right? So this is a tan in a shot, but so much more, all right? So that has been studied in context of pigmentation, eumelanin, and light tolerance in plain terms. So this is what it does. Receptor activity, signaling pathways. Hold on a second. All right. Anyway, let's move on. I can't do every single one on this, right? All right. So we did, okay, let's do the sleep. Your boy need to sleep, right? So it's one called DSIP, DSIP, Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. Fire, right? Slow wave sleep, sleep architecture, insomnia, nervous system recovery, and recovery signaling. So this is a sleep-related peptide study for sleep regulation, deep sleep signaling, stress response, so on and so forth. It's connected, the research is connected to its benefits in delta sleep, hormone regulation. The physical repair happens when you're sleeping. So this is super important. The weight loss happens when you're sleeping. This is super important. The management of thoughts happen when you're sleeping. You're planning when you're sleeping. You're working out. You're lifting weights. The muscle rebuilding's happening when you're sleeping. Okay, so this is to deeply understand this. It's a research peptide study for helping regulate the body's sleep rhythm, especially deep sleep and quality of sleep. There's a lot of products that can make you fall asleep, but you won't stay asleep. This will help you sleep like a rock. Okay. So that is a powerful one. Everybody should be taking. Look, sleep, they have found sleep to be probably the most powerful performance enhancement there is. Sleep, adequate sleep, okay? All right, so we're going to go over a couple for sexual health. So you have PT-141, okay? This is a melanocortin receptor agonist studied for sexual desire, arousal signaling, and brain-derived sexual response, okay? It makes you horny. basically, right? It's a sexual health peptide. Listen, there's sometimes people are not functioning properly because they don't have the arousal is not powerful, right? They're not being turned on like that. And a lot of times y'all are just stressed out too much, right? Because a lot of this is psychological, or you're replacing real interactions with a ton of novelty, like in pornography, corn, right? You know what I'm trying to say? So that makes an unrealistic idea of intimacy, and it makes normal, realistic things just not the vibe, that's not the vibe, okay? So this kind of helps you with that, right? Now, it works differently from erectile dysfunction drugs because those drugs primarily just work on blood flow. PT141 is more central, right? So that means it works through the brain and the nervous system pathways, and that's involved in sexual desire and arousal. It's very powerful. So melanocortin receptors agonist studied for helping activate sexual activities, sexual desire, and arousal pathways in the brain. Some people don't even know that exists, right? They don't know they have libido-related brain pathways. You have arousal signals. You have, signals for sexual desire. And then this is big in for females as well, because some female have hypoactive sexual desire disorder, right? So it's good for that. And then for the guys, it's the erectile dysfunction, so it's good for that. For both is the sexual motivation, central nervous system, sexual response signaling. This is not testosterone, it's not Viagra, it's not a stimulant. It's not a hormone replacement therapy. It don't work by increasing blood flow. It works through melanocortin receptor signaling, especially in pathways connected to sexual desire and arousal in the brain. Fire, right? So you're not patching up, putting Band-Aids on things. You're fixing things from your nervous system on out, and that's just the best way to do it, okay? Look, there's a lot. There's a lot of different peptides that do very magnificent things, okay? What I have here is I can't just answer every question or read every break down every peptide today. But what I can do is direct y'all to the link right here. Okay. So hopefully my guys have been answering the questions for y'all, right? The link is pinned. Let me put it right. Hold on, let me get your link real quick, right? Give me 1 second. This is my link in which once you go all through it, you're going to get a discount. Okay. So you want to use a link so you can get the hookup if you are to, go on this odyssey of peptides. You dig? How do I? Don't worry about no code. This link will give you a discount. All right. Okay. Tessa and IPA, I haven't taken it. I've told y'all the things that I've taken and that I'm taking now. So it's all up from here, So yeah, I hope this was beneficial to y'all. Okay. I got to say this too. Now, once again, this is not you just take it and don't do anything, right? You need to have a legitimate protocol, a legitimate training and nutrition protocol. Sometimes working with a trainer might be expensive for you, right? A coach, working with a coach directly and a nutritionist, this, that, and the third, can be expensive. So I mitigate that for you. I level the playing field. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get this link. Because as some of you know, I kind of know what I'm doing when it comes to training. I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to getting people in shape, right? So I have many training programs out there, but I have a 3-month program that I would love for y'all to partake in. The link in here. I teamed up with Zila. These are my folks, these are my people. And what we have here is my training all in the app. Also, you will get nutrition specific for you, okay? And it's mega cheap. It's super cheap. It's dirt cheap. That's because, I want as many people to have this as possible. So the peptides ain't working if you're not doing all the right things. If you're not eating properly, if you're not resting, if you're not training, right? I see people in the gym all the time. They might be, training and everything, but they ain't really getting nothing out of it because they're not doing the things that's necessary. They're not training properly. And look, I don't expect everybody to know how to train properly, right? I'm a professional. This is what I do. This is what I've been doing all my adult life. And as far as teaching people and training people, but I've been training myself all my life. Okay. So that link right there, get the app. The app is free. The training is the program is super cheap. Like if y'all can't afford that, then that's okay. It's okay. It's not for everybody. But anyway, this is we make it easy for you, okay? I'm making it easy for you. A lot of people don't have access to this kind of stuff, right? I'm putting it out there for y'all, all right? Anyway, I'm about to hop off. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a good evening, good week tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Okay, like the guys, shout out to Connor and Alex. I appreciate you, brothers. Thank you very much. Y'all don't even know. Y'all talking to some G's right now. Hopefully they answered your questions properly. And I'm out of here. We will be doing a webinar on 4 pillars, right? Training and optimizing yourself mentally, intellectually, physically, financially, and spiritually, okay, in a week. So y'all can stay tapped in. If you're not in my WhatsApp group, if anybody in here is in the WhatsApp group, somebody share the link right here. I'll be tapping in on the reg. Put the link in here if somebody in here got the WhatsApp link. But listen, get the program right here and get you some peptides. All right. I appreciate you, Michael. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Next time. Holla at y'all next time. Peace.